The Future of the Past. Editorial. The Future of the Past is an editorial from The Hindu of February 9th, 2010. This has been included in the compiled editorials published with the title The Second Hundred, a selection of editorials from 1978 to 2016. The death of a language is discussed here. The 85-year-old Boa Senior of Andamans was the last speaker of Bo language. With her, the Bo language died. Like Bo language, the languages of Andamans shouldn't be allowed to die. Thus, the editorial focuses its attention on the fate of the languages of Andaman Archipelago. When a language dies, a way of life, a cultural identity, a repository of indigenous knowledge also lost irrecoverably. According to Austrian philosopher Ludwig Wittgenstein, language is not simply a mechanical means of communication. The limits of one's language are the limits of one's world. Only 3 tribes survive in the Andaman Island now. The Jarawas, who are near around 250 in numbers now, resisted their contact with outsiders until 2 decades ago. It was the Great Andaman Trunk Road that made them develop friendly contact with outsiders. The Wongas, who are near around 100 now, live in the Little Andaman. However, the Sentinelese, who fiercely resist outside contacts, live in the North Sentinel Island, that is approximately 60 square kilometers of area. Though the faunal and floral diversity of Andamans is celebrated, its linguistic and cultural diversity has largely been neglected. The dwindling numbers of indigenous people of Andaman Archipelago were by the outside contacts. Both the invaders and the diseases that they imported killed them. As the languages or dialects of the Great Andamanese are regarded as one of the 5 language families of India, they should be preserved. By protecting the indigenous communities, their languages and traditions, we actually protect the future of the past. On university education, Bhupesh Gupta. Bhupesh Gupta, who was born in 1914 and who died in the year 1981, an eminent parliamentarian, was also the member of Rajya Sabha for 5 terms from West Bengal. When Jawaharlal Nehru University Bill, a proposal for a university with the name of Jawaharlal Nehru at Delhi, was presented in Rajya Sabha on 1st September 1965 by M.C. Chagla, Bhupesh Gupta gave his observations and a few valuable suggestions for the betterment of university education. Actually, the renowned JNU was structured on the ideas put forward by Bhupesh Gupta. On hearing the introduction of the bill by M.C. Chagla, Bhupesh Gupta describes it as pedestrian. As Nehru is a great man, it is futile to discuss the immortality that would be bestowed upon him by naming the proposed university as Jawaharlal Nehru University. Bhupesh Gupta says since the requirements of higher education are not squarely met by the existing university in Delhi, this university, with the name of Nehru, should fulfill all the requirements. First of all, its doors should be kept open for the young boys and girls from the poorer classes. Then he says that the university should be run on a board basis. The autonomy should be completely guaranteed to the board. New faculties for world peace should be created by the select committee. Moreover, students should be educated in various matters connected with development of democratic institutions and democracy in the country. To make the students useful and enlightened citizens, world affairs and affairs of the state should also be taught. In addition to it, a faculty for the study of scientific socialism should also be there. As everybody in India talks about socialism, the students should have a clear idea about socialism. As socialism prevails in our country, it should be studied and taught as a special subject in the proposed university. Bhupesh Gupta concludes his speech saying that other things concerning the proposed university will effectively be handled by the select committee to be formed. World as one economic and cultural unit. Meghnad Saha. Meghnad N. Saha, who was born in 1893 and who died in the year 1956, the chief architect of river planning in India and the brain behind the Damodar Valley project, was the Indian scientist and renowned astrophysicist. He was at the forefront of organizing scientific societies like the National Academy of Science, the Indian Physical Society, and the Indian Institute of Science. In a speech that he delivered in the Indian Science Congress held in Bombay, he identified the world's becoming one economic and cultural unit. So he stressed the need for a new educational scheme devised by a World Congress of great thinkers. Meghnad Saha begins his speech talking about the fact that is slowly dawning on the public that the world is fast becoming one economic unit. A crash in Wall Street leads to a strike in Bombay mills. The unemployment in Lancashire leads to fall in the price of jute in Bengal and ultimately to Hindu-Muslim riots. So the rulers of countries can't survive with their Olympian attitudes. They must become earthwide in their outlook. Similarly, the present faculty system of education that nurture medieval mind should be changed, as the economic and scientific studies show that the world has resources for her whole population. Nobody should suffer from hunger and privation. There should be a rational program of production and a program of judicious and equitable distribution. The whole production should be controlled by scientific industrialists, and the distribution should be supervised by the economists. The eugenists should assign a fixed quota of population to each geographical unit. All these are possible if the educational program is thoroughly revised. The revision should be by a World's Congress of foremost thinkers like Bergson, Einstein, Bertrand Russell, Smuts, and Spengler. Then the world will become one economic and cultural unit.